We are live here at Suncorp Stadium for what is expected to be a massive match to kick off the SRL season. The Canberra Raiders, who finished 5th last season, narrowly missing out on a final spot, will take on the Brisbane Broncos, who did go to the finals, who eventually were knocked out in week 1 of the finals by the Rabbitohs. Both teams are looking to get that season underway in a good way. And joining me in the commentary box for this highly anticipated match is Jack Carl. How you going, mate?
I'm going good. I am so excited. I'm a former Bronco myself, so it'll be good to see my former team get out there and play a game. I'm excited for the SRL to be back.
Now, you know, both teams, the Raiders in the trial match last week. Obviously, it's just a trial match. They can't look too much into it. But they definitely kicked off where they left off with a thrashing of the Panthers once again. 30-6. The Broncos, on the other hand, 58-12. Was it a great match by them, was it?
Oh, that's the understatement of the year right there. I think Broncos are going to want to forget that match happened quickly. I'm not sure that they can, though. I think Canberra are in some good form. I think they'll win this game by a lot.
Yeah, you see right there, they're already starting less energetic there. Sam Herman's got absolutely crunched by Rahul Kaval, I believe that was. A big tackle on him. Back on here, Coda Diab gets it over to Sam Herman. And there we go, there he's through the gap. Wrapped up there by the Raiders' new recruit, Eli Barnes. Now, Eli Barnes, Season 2 MVP. Season 3, probably went from... It wasn't a great year for him. Do you think he'll bounce back at the Raiders?
Well, yeah, he was quite quiet last season. Wouldn't say bad, but he was quiet. I think he will. I think he's got to. I think he is one of the better players of the SRL, and at the Raiders he'll bounce back.
I think that's a fair point. It's going to be interesting, though. Jack O'Neill's knocking on the door for that potentially take over at fullback. It's known that he wants to eventually at some point switch to fullback. Do you see that ever happening for the Raiders in Season 4? Or do you think Eli will have it down for the whole season?
Well, it depends how they start their season, I guess. If they go off to a fly, I reckon you keep him there. You stick with what's working. If they get off to a bit more of a slow start, I wouldn't be against seeing Jack O'Neill take that fullback spot.
Fair enough there, as the man of the moment, Jack O'Neill, plays it there with Luke Thompson punted into the backfield. Fielded there by Luka Moscow. And that's a good run there. Getting up towards the 30. One of the new recruits for the Broncos, as in a moment here, we'll have a look at these at the team list that were named on Friday. Before the Broncos, we have Sam Herman being named at fullback with Luka Moscow and Joey Kelly on the wings. Tyler Weston and Justin Players were the players to come into the centres. Obviously, Condell Dingle played there in the trials. Interesting to see that as they have a bit of a moment here. Luka Moscow frozen into what the Raiders players, they can't hold on to it. And this is the first opportunity for the Broncos here. That could have been very dangerous there for a second, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, that was a stroke of luck. Luka Moscow just throwing it back. Raiders player unable to handle it, and they'll get 6 more for that. I'd like to see them make good use of their opportunity here.
As we get back to the team list in a minute, Pete Ferretto plays it just 12 minutes out from the line here. Coda Diab, short ball there to Jordan Ford. He's just 3 meters away from the line now. Bo Sadler gives it to Mark Guy against this former club, will be pulled down just a meter away now. He could reach out and touch it if he wanted. 5th tackle, goes back, and they got it away there. They're going to say play on! Jordan Ford gets it offload to Levi Raymond. Bit of frantic stuff on the last, but wasn't what the Broncos should have done there, was it? Bit of a poor set from them.
Yeah. Nah, they looked a little bit dangerous there in like little sections, but overall that was a pretty flat set, and Broncos were pretty disappointed with that.
As we get back to the team list here, Mark Iron and Levi Raymond make up the halves. Sam Lillard and Jordan Ford goes prop with Bo Sadler, another one of their new recruits at hooker. Pete Ferretto, Jason Farrow out second row with Coda Diab at lock. Jack Spillane, Bailey Wilson, Simon Hunt, and Condell Dingle make up the bench as the Broncos give away a penalty here. And this is the Raiders will get their first opportunity here.
Oh yeah, well, it's possibly gone from a Broncos 6-0 up to Raiders doing the same. Broncos not a great set there defensively from them, and giving away the penalty at the end is just it's a sin. It really is a sin.
We saw, last week the Broncos were pretty flimsy in defense, conceding 58 points. I believe that's the most we've ever seen in an SRL match. Obviously, it doesn't count towards the records as, it was only a trial match, but it's interesting to see what they do here. Throwing away who? 5 minutes off the line, third tackle now. Goes Jack into a short ball there to Caval. Pushing towards the line, he's on his back there, and the Broncos are going to survive. Good defense there from the Broncos. They managed to keep up a very hard run of the Australian second rower. To go out wide there to Jordan Lewis, taking a settler here. 4 meters away there. Thought they were getting a penalty. They were laying a bit on there, a bit long there. Jackie Hill grubs it in. And a bit of a dive there, picked up by Tiranga. And he's going to be tackled just short of the line.
Oh, wow. He aimed for the post, and the post ended up getting in the way.
Eli Barnes came flying there. I thought he was going to ground it, but he just missed it. Who ended up with it, but he just could not get to the line. That was definitely a lot better scramble defense there by the Broncos, though, than we saw last week, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, they stopped the try, which you can't really say about them last week.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. We'll have to see how they go. Obviously, I think they started really well last week. Didn't concede a point to the 14th minute, but then conceded 26 in like 9 minutes or something, so the jury is still out at the moment. As we go through the Raiders lineup, Eli Barnes is at fullback with Jacob Morrison and Corey Bell on the wings. Jason Lomu and John Boy Moava are in the centres. You've got Jack Anu and Luke Thompson, one of the most dominant half pairings in the competition in the halves here for the Raiders. With Jordan Lewis and Tiranga at prop. Speaking of Jordan Lewis, does a brilliant run there. Find a nice gap. But let's look at sidetracked here. Rahul Kaval, the captain, as well as Sabbath Ta'ua make up the second row. Jordan Moon was another one of their new recruits at lock. The interchange bench consists of Ben Arnold, Aaron Leonidas, Wally Allen, and Sienna Mateus. It's another good run there by Jordan Lewis. It's good play on the 34th tackle now. We go short side here. Kaval, long cutter pass there to Jacob Morrison. Breaks past one tackle. 5th tackle now. It's going to go back here to Jack O'Neill. Puts it higher. Brilliant kick here. Caught there by Eli Barnes, and they're going to survive once more.
Wow. As that was coming down, I thought that might have been hitting the post. It just misses it, and Eli Barnes had a great grab at it. Good work holding him up there, the Broncos.
Yeah, it was just a torpedo bomb by Jack O'Neill. It was swaying in the air. Obviously not helped by this rain. Broncos didn't want a bar of it. Barnes eventually comes down with it, but the Broncos' defense was there to save the day. And that could have been anything, that kick. As the Broncos will play just on the past the 50-meter line now. Goes Pete Veretto over to Moscow. Good run there, but a brilliant tackle there to take him over the sideline, and the Raiders have the ball back.
Broncos just unable to put pressure on the Raiders at the moment. That is just releasing the valve. They could have had a good attacking kick opportunity there. Moscow goes out.
As we see the first use of the new rule change, we haven't really talked about this. But obviously the new rule changes come in 12 interchanges now, allowing for extra subs at half time, as well as those scrums. Gonna be interesting to see how the teams use these rule changes, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think the 14 and 15 coming off the bench at half time, it allows for a lot more strategy from the captains, and I'm interested to see how some teams utilize them. I imagine we'll see some strategies developing throughout the season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting there. It's a good run there. Gets an offload back to Tim James. He didn't need to throw the offload there, Jordan Williams. Rocking a new haircut today. It goes back there. It's going to be Jack O'Neill once again. Punts it over. Caught there by Joey Kelly. And he's straight for a gap. We know he can run. Kelly versus Barnes. A brilliant ankle tap.
Well, Joey Kelly, one of the more dangerous wingers, and as he takes off, you just thought he was gone. Eli Barnes with the ankle tap.
Brilliant try save there as he makes another tackle there. Eli Barnes on Sam Herbin. Goes short there to Veretto. Charging run there. Caught there by Tiranga and Sabatu, I think that is. Short there to Jason Farah. 12 meters out. They have to score here. Goes back towards the post. Jordan Ford pushed on his back. 10 meters out now on the line. Goes to Mark Iron. They put it high. It's very high, in fact. Very high. Knocked back, in fact, to Sam Herbin. And just as he did last week, he opens the scoring for the Broncos.
Wow, the Broncos have done incredibly well there. You got to say, the Raiders have kind of been on top in this game. Broncos haven't had too many opportunities down this end. I think it's their second opportunity down this in their 20, and Mark Iron puts the bomb up, and Herbin is able to score. Great job staying in the game, the Broncos, and they get the 4 points.
Yeah, it was a good kick. I think it was Mark Iron who put it up. A brilliant knockback by Joey Kelly, and Sam Herbin, just like he did last week, opens the scoring. Levi Raymond looks to kick it over, and he's going to miss it. 4-0 is around the score. I'm interested to see. Broncos, they scored first last week. It was then, as soon as they lost momentum, they struggled to get it back. I want to see how they respond if the Raiders can put some points on, because that's going to tell us whether the Broncos are the real deal this year after what happened in the trial.
Oh yeah, it's certainly interesting, because even though they got this 4-0 lead, that can dissipate very quickly. We saw it last week. I think the Broncos don't want an error off this set. They absolutely need to complete and put it down the other end.
Yeah, I think some of the most important sets of the games are the ones after you score points, because it just determines how well you go throughout the rest of the game. Because if you make an error, it gives the other team an immediate opportunity to potentially fire back at you. As a brilliant run there by Pete Verretto, finds an offload back to Samuel Lillard. He's caught there. Third tackle now. Mark Iron. Inside Dakota Diab. That's the fourth. 4-0 for score, obviously. Sam Herbert opening it as if you just joined us. As Justin plays, pushes forward there. A brilliant offload there by Sam Herbert. He's starting to find some gaps in the Raiders' defense. Do you think it's time the Raiders might be making some subs soon? Biddle's getting a bit tired, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Sam Herben's showing his class through the middle right now. Maybe time to sub him off. As that was a perfect set that I was talking about from the Broncos. Just put him down in this end. I'd like to see them do that a little bit more.
Caval plays it there. Tim James out dummy half gets an offload to Jack O'Neill. Tim James looking a bit dangerous here among some tired defenders too. Had a couple scoots out. Managed to get Rahul Caval off the front foot early. So it was a brilliant run from him. As Jordan Williams plays it there. Jack O'Neill now. Pushes forward. That's going to be fifth tackle there. 21 minutes gone. Raiders, I think they just need to go back to basics here. Obviously, they wouldn't be happy to have conceded first, but it's only 4-0. They just have to remember that they're still in the game.
Yeah, I think both teams need to do that. I think the team that gets into the others 20 first I reckon they'll score immediately. I reckon they might start to gain the ascendancy as well. Just don't make any errors is what I'd be saying to both teams at the moment.
As we see there, Levi Raymond, a very risky pass there. I can't be known when I looked at it and thought that's an intercept right there. Nearly another case of the commentator's curse there, but the Broncos, they get away with that one. Fourth tackle now. Goes Luka Moscow. Inside Dakota Diab, straight up the middle. A brilliant run there as we have a high tackle. And the Broncos, this is looking good from them.
Yeah, well, they've got a real opportunity to start putting a bit of distance on the scoreboard here. Their third opportunity in the 20. They've got a 50% strike rate so far.
Yeah, the Raiders, they cannot afford to let it try in here. As it goes, Sam Herbert. He's already scored one today. Scored a double last week. Their only try scorer last week. Let's see, Dakota Diab now. He's had a good start to the game. Pushes forward. We'll play it there 5 meters out. Goes Levi Raymond. Fourth tackle. 8 meters away here. They have to throw something at them. Short ball to Pete Verretto. He's on his back. All comes down to this kick. The Raiders have to survive here. Bo Sadler gives it back to Mark Iron. Rubbers it into an offside. Bailey Wilson. That's a let off there for the Raiders.
That was a shocking set. There was a lot of one out in that set. I think there was only one play that had an extra pass. Just no pressure on the Raiders whatsoever. And then messing up that last kick. Just basic stuff there from the Broncos.
I mean, Bailey Wilson, the kick actually looked decent, but he just was in front of the kicker. Don't touch it. Let it go through. And he just had to make a play at it. Sometimes it's tough for some of those younger blokes, but a bit disappointing there from the Broncos. As the Raiders push forward here. Goes inside there to Coda Diab. And now they have an intercept. I should have mentioned the intercept before, saying Coda Diab takes the ball. They threw an intercept there, and once again the Broncos have an opportunity. The Raiders can't seem to put any pressure on the Broncos. They just keep making errors, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's the big problem at the moment for the Raiders. They're just letting the Broncos into this game. They haven't really applied any pressure to their line whatsoever. They had a few sets near the start of the match. Broncos, to their credit, did well. Since then, there's not been much from the Raiders.
It's going to be Bailey Wilson pushes forward. It's going to be 20 metres out now. Goes back to Mark Iron. A brilliant kick there. Great kick, in fact, taken by Eli Barnes, and he's away.
Oh,
Eli Barnes not going to be caught. Over to 40. 50 it is. Shut the gate. He was going to score. He's 30 metres out, but you know no one's going to catch Eli Barnes from there. And the Raiders open their score just like that. What a try from Eli Barnes.
Wow, that was a little tricky. Eli Barnes was running backwards, then he just came onto the ball at speed. That was an incredible little move there from Eli Barnes. And, God, that's disheartening for the Broncos. They're probably going to take the lead here, the Raiders. I don't see O'Neill missing this, and that might be what the Raiders needed to click them into gear.
I mean, Eli Barnes, we know how dangerous he is. He's been a bit quiet again to start this game, but just like that, he opens the scoring with ease. A 100-meter effort. I thought for a second
101.
101, yeah. I thought for a second he might have caught it in the in goal, which would have required a 7-tackle set, but the ref would play on, and he just stepped one and was gone.
Well, I reckon even if it was caught in goal, that was an incredible take. Absolutely incredible take. He was in no man's land, coming onto that ball at speed. He needed to make that catch. Broncos could have easily scored there.
Yeah, and well, just like that, Raiders are in the lead. I mean, as soon as he got into space, you knew no one was catching Eli Barnes. One of the quickest players in the game. He was just gone straight away. As now, Jordan Williams plays it there, 30 metres out. We're already in round one, but I guarantee that try will go down as one of the tries of the season, just like that. It was just such a great take, because now the Raiders are on the front foot. Eli Barnes again making a break. Playing out a bit of centre, putting on a step. Fourth tackle now. Jack O'Neill, long pass over to Ben Arnold. I want to see how the Broncos respond here. This is this type of situation where the Broncos just folded last week. It's after scoring points. Although they've only kept them to the 30, which is definitely a lot better than what the times they're doing last week after points. It goes down to Moscow, but a good tackle there.
That's a great tackle.
You know, it's Moscow. We know how good he is off kick returns. And just like that, now the Broncos are working out their own goal. Bo Sadler takes it, hit up there. Coda Diab with another one. Pushing up towards the 30. That's a good run. Bo Sadler gives it to Levi Raymond. Inside there to Sam Herbin, but they read it well. Jordan Williams and Ben Arnold around him. Pete Ferreira takes the final hit up the set. As it plays it there, goes back Mark Iron. A brilliant kick there, down to Jacob Morrison. We know how dangerous he is. Back-to-back center of the year, Jacob Morrison. Do you find it interesting to have moved him out to the wing?
Well, no, because he's been playing well. That line break just sums it up. He's been good on those returns so far. I think he's had 2 in this game. Oh,
the Raiders make an error, and just like that, once more, the Broncos have a massive shot made on Sam Herbin there. Ben Arnold putting a massive shot on him. Now, obviously, so with the Broncos, you know, it's quite interesting. I think the rain's definitely affecting the Raiders, not so much the Broncos. With some of the catches, there's just the plays up the middle. Steps Eli Barnes, that could have been away there, but he's taken there by Jason Lomu. But as I was saying, the rain seems to be affecting the Raiders quite a bit. They seem to be not familiar with this territory, making a lot of errors.
Yeah. Errors have been keeping Broncos in the game, to be to be completely honest. That's what's keeping the Bronx in the game at the moment because Raiders were starting to gain the ascendancy there. They started the set on the 50-metre line.
As an error's made there by Mark Iron against his old club, trying to put a little kick in. And once more the Raiders survive. How much longer can they keep this up for?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think they are defending well, but all it takes is one little break for the Raiders, and they're gone. Like, they still have the lead at the moment. Broncos are probably still a bit disheartened about the fact they don't have the lead. So I'd be pretty confident in the Raiders' ability so far.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue they definitely deserve to have the lead. It's just an unlucky missed kick and an unlucky one, blink. They, defenders just blinking and just they missed him. Situation which has caused the Broncos to be down here. You don't have to think the Broncos are probably a bit disheartened over that.
Yeah.
But just they keep pushing forward. As Joey Kelly now puts on a step. Gets taken there by Eli Barnes. That's the first tackle. The Broncos here have put a bit more on attack. Their defense has been decent, but their attack needs to be better. As Bailey Wilson takes a good hit up there. Goes over to Pete Veretto.
I'd be very interested to see the field possession for this game because it feels like a lot of it has been played in the Raiders' half.
Yeah, I'd say close to probably 80%. It feels like. I feel like we've seen barely any ball down the other end. As Jack Splain pushes forward, 13 metres out now. They need a better kick here. The last two ones have been poor. It's going to be Mark Iron to put it high. A good kick there. Great kick tapped back to Sam Herbert, but he's wrapped up there. So often we see the fullbacks go in from there. But a brilliant tackle, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, they did it successfully down the other side of the field, on the right side. Left side learned a lesson and got on Herbert immediately.
Yeah, it was a brilliant tackle there as Aaron Leonidas up the middle now. Good tackle by Sam Herbert, but after a great run by Aaron Leonidas. Second tackle now. O'Neill, long ball over to Morrison. That's the third. It's going to go O'Neill. Gives it over to Arnold again. That's the fourth tackle. Goes inside to Eli Barnes. A brilliant tackle there by Diab. And that's going to be fifth tackle there. 6-4 still for score. 38 minutes scored so far. Herbert and Barnes, the two fullbacks, the try scorers so far. And that's going to be the first. Joey Kelly will play it there on the 20. It's Raymond. Only a minute left to half time.
That's your second.
Second tackle now. Diab. Long pass over an intercept there for Sabbath Tour.
There we go.
He's not going to run away there and he's going to score the Raiders' second try. Just like that, the Raiders are going to extend their lead.
Wow, the Raiders do not deserve to be up by, well, it's going to possibly be 8 points now. But that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. The Broncos have made 2 errors and the Raiders have punished them for it. First the kick, now the intercept. Broncos are crumbling a bit.
Yeah, I think it was Levi Raymond who threw the pass. I think he's just trying to try something just before the break, knowing there's only a minute left. That probably wasn't going to get to that kick. But he threw the park. I don't think anyone was going to be predicting Sabbath to want to make an intercept try this game. And just like that, the Raiders are going to go extend their lead just before the break. They don't deserve to have the lead at all, let alone by 8. But that's how the cookie crumbles, and those little moments is what making the Broncos lose.
Yeah, well, it's just execution at the moment. The Broncos have had so many opportunities and unable to execute them, and the Raiders, well, they've had like marginally more than they've scored on, and they've got the lead.
Yeah, I think I can name one other opportunity, which is at the very beginning of the game where the Broncos were able to defend them. The other 2 opportunities weren't really opportunities, they were just moments, but the Raiders won.
Yeah.
As we head to half-time, the Broncos down against the Raiders, 12 points to 8. Alright, we are back here for the second half. Broncos down at halftime after being up for a lot of the match in terms of field position and scoreline too, but they're now down 4 points to 12 at home. Both teams are making the changes. It's interesting to see how these interchanges will affect the lineups. Jenny, what are your thoughts on the Broncos first half?
Oh, I think that they will be disgusted in it, to be honest. I think they could have a real lead here, maybe 18, even 20 points. Look, they should be in front. They should be in front by a lot given the opportunities they had.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Raiders have just won 2 moments, and both moments have led to a try. Which, you know, try scorers, obviously Eli Barnes step up to Ua, but yeah, both tries were also off the back. The play started with the Broncos. The Raiders didn't even play the ball for either of those plays. It was the Broncos playing the ball, and a mistake or a missed tackle caused just a simple runaway try.
Yeah, well, the Raiders have barely had any ball in the Broncos 20. Like, next to none. I think they had 2 sets at the start of the game. That's been about it.
It's going to be interesting as we have a look at the interchanges now. Both teams have made subs. Interesting to see, I believe, if you see back here, I believe Jack O'Neill is headed to fullback with Eli Barnes getting a spell. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know what the Raiders coach is thinking. I think Eli Barnes was their best player in the first half. I'm a bit confused about it, to be honest.
It's interesting, isn't it? With also Joey Kelly going fullback. Sam Herman moving to the wing.
Yeah, well, same premise. I think Sam Herman was their best player. I think they've both teams have taken out 2 of their best players and moved them elsewhere. I think Eli Barnes has gone back to the bench and Herman on the wing. I'm not sure about it, to be honest.
As Lima Raymond punts it over to Corey Bell, who's straight into a gap here. He beats Joey Kelly just like that. Corey Bell's not going to run the distance. Kelly's put on making up a bit of ground, but he's not going to make up enough ground. And another try gets the run of play, and the Raiders score their third.
Yeah, that is another moment right there. That is another play the ball, a play that started with a Broncos play the ball. The kick chase just wasn't there. Corey Bell, I don't even think he had to step. I think he just weaved, and he was gone.
It was very, very disappointing from the Broncos, and it was too easy. I don't know. What can you do if you're the Broncos? 3 moments they've lost, and all 3 moments have led to try. 3 tries against the run of play.
Yeah, well, I think the Broncos. I think this. I've said it. I said it before. I think this game's going to open up now. Broncos have just been absolutely shafted on some unlucky moments, and they're down by what is that?
14.
Math 14. There you go. They're down by 14.
As Luke Thompson gives it Ben Arnold for the first hit up, a big run there into the clutches of the number 8 for the Broncos, as I try to remember his name. Should be Jack Spillane.
Speaking of moments, I think we're having a few moments up in the commentary box.
Yeah. As that's going to be the 3rd tackle there. 4th tackle, in fact. Goes out of Sino Mateus. Gives it to Luke Thompson. Interestingly enough, they've separated that half combination of Jackie Neal and Luke Thompson. If we talk to how dominant it was, another interesting decision there by the Raiders, although it's worked so far with them scoring a try straight away. With Sam Herman playing it there. Goes Veretto. Second tackle now. Goes Sam Lillard, a big run by him. Sorry about we are back. We had a few issues in the commentary box, but we should be good now. And yes, the subs do seem to have come on now. As Justin plays, kicks over, long kick fielded down to Jacob Morrison.
Wow, that was almost 2 meters too deep there.
Yeah, well, it was actually perfect. Landed just in front of the in goal. I'm surprised Jacob Morrison didn't try to reach his foot back to get a 7 tackle restart there, but yeah, the Broncos It was a good kick there, but a good line break there made by Jack O'Neill. Third minute now. Third tackle now. Rahul Kaval takes it there. Fourth tackle. Sione Mata'us over to Jack O'Neill. Gives it to Luke Thompson. Tackle made there by what seems to be Jack Spillane, I think, as it goes down there to the Broncos. And there we go, Luka Moscow of a step. He's someone. I think their back three have to be the players to link up here to sort of get the Broncos back into it, don't you?
Well, yeah, I think if you look at their team, the back three is probably the most dangerous out of their whole team. So I think they've got to produce something. Now Joey Kelly's at fullback. I think he's probably going to be the main perpetrator there. So Joey Kelly's got to be on. He's been given the fullback. He needs to make the most of it.
As Mark Iron going towards touch. He needs to stay in here. Is it over? The touch judge has an eye on him and there the flag goes up.
I thought he was in. I thought he managed to keep himself in there, but as he's getting up, I think he puts a foot out. I'm not sure. Puts some part of his body out. Yeah, that left foot there.
Yeah, disappointing from the Broncos. It was good defense, but they were on the front foot there. They started to get a bit of momentum, but just like that, another error has cost them field position. As there goes Sione Mata'us. Gives it there to Jason Lomu. The center of the season in Season 3 as they give away a penalty now. Jason Lomu trying to get a quick play, will get to his feet. Broncos don't let him up and the ref blows the whistle straight away. It's weird to say, but this is like their second time they've been in their 40, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And Broncos can't concede here. I think if Raiders score next, I think it might be shut the gates, game over.
As Tim James looks for some darts out of dummy half, that was a good tackle there by Bailey Wilson there as it goes short there to Caval. Third tackle now. He'll play it there, just 27 metres out from the in goal. Mata'us over to Ben Arnold. He'll play it there, fourth tackle now. Gives it short there to Caval. That's given to fifth tackle now. Good setting by the Raiders. Let's see if they can throw something in the last tackle. Good kick there by Mata'us. Picked up by Luke Thompson to the line. Is he over the goal?
He was millimeters from the line there. Oh, tackle.
Sione Mata'us, the rookie, put a brilliant kick in there. And I thought he was going to be in, but a brilliant tackle there as we have Jordan Williams, a bit of a stumble there. We'll have to keep an eye on him. He gets back into the defensive line for now. We'll have to watch, keep an eye on him.
Just saw him grasp his upper leg. I think it's something to do with his upper leg there.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that for me. I'll get you to go down, maybe have a whiz around. Now he seems to stay on the field though as Mark Iron boots it out on the full. And we didn't even see where that ball went on the commentary box. Have to get up.
Yeah, that's into the crowd.
Over the cameraman. They can't. We don't really have any cameras on the crowd here. We can't really see anything as. Just seen, I think Jordan Williams come off there. I'll grab you a bit to sort of go down to the crowd. Go down to the sideline, sorry, and speak to some of the Raiders staff and what they think's happening. But a bit of a consultant there for the Raiders, isn't he? He was so good last week, Jordan Williams. As we have third tackle here, 10 metres off the line. Wally Allen, short ball there to John Boyamava, looking for the line. And he's on his back there. So close there. Fourth tackle now. It's Eli Barnes once more and he's over.
Oh. I think that's his first touch. Is it not?
First touch that's coming back on, it is.
Yeah. Like I said, I think
in the
Eli...
position. What is this?
Oh, wow.
Eli Barnes just runs it straight and he's over the top of them.
Gets through 5 Broncos. He just barnstorms right through them all.
He says, get out of my way, I'm Eli Barnes.
Yeah, well, talk about making an impact off the bench. Probably not happy that The captain coach put him on the bench at half time. Just trying to say something there.
And what a powerful run Eli Barnes made, like. He just ran over the top of them at speed. I don't think I've ever seen that before from a fullback. I mean, he's playing lock now. He's a tall fella. Definitely can do it with how big he is. And they no longer have Jordan Williams, who seems to have come off. But they have Eli Barnes. Now, Jack, what's the you've been there to the sideline. What's the goal with Jordan Williams? What's the update from the Canberra staff?
Yeah, I was talking to some of the Canberra staff members, and they told me that it's just a cork thigh. They're not too worried about the extent of the injury, and yeah, so it's a corked thigh is the problem.
Corked thigh. Thank you for that update. We'll have to keep an eye on him. I assume he won't be returning with that. Question is going to be about next week. You'd assume he'd probably be starting to mention another run in by Eli Barnes. What's going on at the moment? Barnes runs a good.
Eli Barnes.
What a player he is as Caval takes his head up there, the captain. Fourth tackle now, and this could be about to open up big time here. They give it short there to Jack O'Neill, and that's going to be a fifth tackle. Goes back to Mataus. He does a brilliant kick into the end goal. Take it, a brilliant tackle there.
Oh, that is. I'll tell you what, Mataus, since he's come on, he's been dangerous with his kicking game. He's had a few good kicks here. We're looking at the future of the SRL. I believe he's a rookie, isn't he?
Yeah, this is his first season. Obviously, he tore up the SRL Mines last season. Raiders picked him up. They're playing at 5'8" today. It's a big run now off the kick off by Ben Arnold. This is not looking good for the Broncos. They are just collapsing at the moment. This goes Luke Thompson. Out to Mataus. That's going to be his second tackle now. Goes Eli Barnes once more. Back on the inside to Aaron Leonidas. Tim James gives it a Caval. Short there to Ben Arnold. He's had a massive impact in this game. That's going to be the fourth tackle. Thompson takes on the line. He's going to be wrapped up there. Fifth tackle. It's going to be the last. Goes back to Jason Lomu to put it high. Not the play you'd expect to be kicking it, and a brilliant take there by Sam Herbert in the end. Well, the Broncos survived that one, I guess.
Yeah, bit of an odd end to the set there from the Raiders, but I'm sure they won't be too unhappy with having the Broncos in their own 10.
Yeah, it was not the greatest set in terms of attacking. I would have liked to see Eli Barnes get his hands on the ball. We saw how dangerous he's been, although I guess he can't do everything. But I want to defend you to keep the Broncos in their sort of 20 to 30 area.
Yeah, they're doing well. They haven't even broken the 20 yet. It's fourth tackle.
Seems to be working well as Tyler Weston straight up the middle. That's a good run there. That's a game.
They needed that.
So play it there. Goes back to Mark Iron. Kicks over to Jacob Morrison. And a good kick return is a massive shot.
That is awesome. Who was that?
Samuel Lillard with a massive shot on Jacob Morrison. Puts him on his backside. And now the Broncos have a real opportunity. A good run by Tyler Weston. A good hit by Samuel Lillard. If the Broncos score here, they're definitely still in it. So to go inside here. Is that an error we're going to say play on? Zero tackle, in fact. Must have touched the Raiders' hand. They've got a full set inside their 25. A Sadler placed there. Kelly gives it to Veretto. Short ball to Coda Diab. First tackle now. Sadler gives it to Iron. Weston. He's been having some strong runs here. He runs directly at, I think that's John Wormar. There's a long pass over to Coda Diab pushing forward. And he's on his back. Held up he was. That's going to be the third tackle now. Long pass over to Samuel Lillard. That's going to be fourth. Let's see what they do here. They go out. Short ball man and Joey Kelly and he's in.
Well, they make the error, the Raiders, and they pay for it. The Broncos still just in this game. They're going to need to be better than they have been this game. But they still definitely can win this. And there was just miles of space there for Joey Kelly to walk over untouched.
Yeah, it was a good play. Sort of just ran around the back of the thing that might have been Might have been Mark Iron there. Just sort of ran around the back. And he just ran into a gap there. And brilliant stuff there by the Broncos. And just as we thought the Raiders were getting some ascendancy and were going to run away with a potentially 30 to 40 plus scoreline.
Oh.
The Broncos get back into it, although that missed kick's going to lead them behind by 14. That could come back to bite them.
That could. I could definitely see this game ending 20 to 22. I think Levi Raymond's going to have some few sleepless nights because of that.
Hasn't been kicking well so far, Levi Raymond. You'd have to question his goal kicking status at the moment. Although, the Raiders going to kick back off now. The Raiders have been disappointed. They look like they're going to run away. Levi Barnes came in around the middle, was absolutely wrecking terror for a second. But a good try-saving tackle, a good run by Tyler Weston, a good hit by Sandy Lillard, just like that. A good try by Joey Kelly, in fact. Just like that, the Broncos are back in it.
Well, yeah, this game can change very quickly.
Yeah, we'll talk about some moments the Raiders won early in this game. Well, the Broncos won a bunch of moments there in a row, and it caused them to be back in this position.
Oh yeah, and if there's any team that's going to make a comeback, we saw the Broncos do it on 2 or 3 occasions last season. I think the biggest comeback as well.
Yeah, Samuel Lillard gets an offload there to Mark Iron. That's giving the 4th tackle. I go short side here. Forward. Kelly. Gives it to Moscow. Moscow through a gap now. Moscow gets past O'Neill. Caught there by John Boy Marv. A good tackle by Varuki. 5th tackle now. They need a good kick here. It's going to be Bo Sadler put it high. Might be a bit too deep, or is it going to be perfect? It is perfect, but a brilliant tackle by Eli Barnes. And
guess who? Eli Barnes.
He's just been absolutely everywhere. He was in the backfield, ready to make that tackle as Jack O'Neill carves up the middle now.
Someone give Eli Barnes all 3, 2, and 1 of his MVP points.
He's been absolutely everywhere for them. He's been scoring tries, he's been making tackles, he's been coming off the bench and making impacts. As they throw a pointless pass there, I'm not sure entirely who that is. Might be Wally Allen there, but he was through a gap. He didn't need to throw that. It was Luke Thompson, in fact. Yeah, he didn't even throw that pass. But taking it up there, 4th tackle on the 50. Goes Wally Allen now. He'll get up towards the 40-meter line. Goes back. It's going to be Luke Thompson to punt it. Will be fielded there by Sam Herban. And he's tackled there. A good tackle on Sam Herban there. Goes short side to Levi Raymond.
He's held there. That's your second.
Sadler goes out to Simon Hunt. Simon Hunt straight up the middle. We know this kid's quick. He's one of the quicker forwards in the SRL, and he got caught there by Jack O'Neill. Levi Raymond now. What's the intercept? That was an easy intercept there. Another intercept thrown by Levi Raymond.
Oh, Raymond, you got to say Raymond hasn't had a good game.
Yeah, he tends to throw intercepts. You know, at one point last season, he could have been considered one of the best halves. Setting up all 7, scoring or setting up all 7 of the Broncos' first 7 tries last season. Including a 5 tries this game against the Cowboys. But since then, you know, he hasn't set up a try, hasn't scored a try since then. Unless there's been one today, which I don't think there has been. But yeah, he's throwing through intercepts here and there. You know, need to be better. But a good defensive set there in front of Broncos, considering where they started. Only 15 meters they made. This goes Moscow now. He's taken there by Luke Thompson. Goes over to Bo Sadler. Bo Sadler breaks through. Looking for an offload. That's give it a second. Pondale Dingle takes it there. 3rd tackle now. Fourth tackle now. Out on dummy half is Bo Sadler. Looking for space. Wally Allen just got back onside to make the tackle. With 8 minutes left, they're going to have to do a miracle play soon, the Broncos. Otherwise, this game is quickly falling away from them. It's Mark Iron with the punt. Over to Corey Bell. He'll take a hit up there, and that's a good first. Goes short there to Wally Allen. Allen up the middle. He's taken there. That's the 2nd tackle. Have you been, so, the Raiders, they obviously put the foot down as, sorry, I was about to ask you a question, but Caval makes a brilliant run. Offload back to Tim James. As I was going to say, a bit disappointed with the Raiders, considering, where they were in this game to let the Broncos back into it this easily.
Well, oh,
Sorry to cut you off once more, Julie. I'm trying to have a conversation here, and Jacob Morrison nearly scoring tries. Gets held up there. As you're saying.
well, you can look at it that way. I also think you can look at it in the way that the Raiders did a lot of defending in that first half. I mean, they had no opportunities, and the fact that they're even this much up now is kind of insane. They probably would like to be up by more, but I think they've done pretty well for
As
themselves.
they throw a short ball there to Tirangawihu, and that's going to seal off a brilliant performance. It's a good short ball there. Not sure who did it, but Rangiwihu's straight through the line.
Yeah, that was just a nice short ball and caught the Broncos defense. I think caught Joey Kelly out. Kelly rushed up in defense and left a hole.
And just like that, the Raiders are going to extend their lead, probably make it 28 points to 8. And the Broncos, they'll be very disappointed with this performance, They had some good moments, the Broncos, don't get me wrong. That set that got them to get that second try was a very strong set. But I think they didn't do it throughout the whole 80. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would, and I think the Broncos have lost a real opportunity here in this game. I think that they were on top in most parts, and even if they did end up losing, I think that they would be pretty gutted that they lost in this way. I think that they could have at least tightened this margin a little bit.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. The Raiders, they came into the match one of the Premiership favourites, and I'll definitely leave it as one of the Premiership favourites, considering how much defending they've done. The Broncos, they haven't had to defend as much. They've had a lot more attacking opportunities. But they just couldn't finish it off. While the Raiders, their class got them to the end.
Yeah, I think that's the big determining is class. I think the Broncos just didn't have enough ability and class to get it done, while the Raiders did.
It's another run by Fehu. Goes back to Mataus and another brilliant kick there. This has been some performance off the bench by Sano Mataus. Some of his kicking skills today have been phenomenal. He had a brilliant kick in the first half that's forced the line drop out. He's had a few more, really good kicks. You think he's someone that you could definitely be, if you're a captain, you should be definitely watching out for an opportunity to bring him to your club?
Yeah, well, I think Caval will have to have a think about maybe playing Mataus like this a bit more. I squinted at the Eli Barnes decision, but it ended up working, taking Eli Barnes off and bringing him back on.
As Joey Kelly breaks through the line looking for one more try, a consolation try, gets wrapped up there. Good run by Joey Kelly, 4th tackle, looking for a consolation try here for Broncos. Mark Iron it is. He gets wrapped up by his old teammates there. 5th tackle now. As Jordan Ford just decides to take it up, in fact goes for the offload to Tyler Weston. And that wraps up. That's a poor end to the set there for the Broncos as 2 minutes left. The Raiders looking around it out here as John Moyarva goes suspiciously close to the sideline there, but we wrapped up there. We've had quite a few good debutants today. I think John Moyarva at centre's also had a really good performance. Sione Mataus, he's also played very strong. Would you have to agree with that?
Yeah, I would. I think the debutants have had a good game. I think Mataus is the big story out of this. Other than Eli Barnes performing well, I think Mataus has shown some real class in this game, and I think pretty much every captain in the league should be having a second look at him.
I would have to agree there, as both Sadler gives it a mark on, gives it a good short ball there to Coda Dia. We wrap up this game. It's definitely an improvement there from the Broncos. They were much more resilient in the defense here. Their attack was a lot better. But there's still a lot of improvement to do for this Broncos team, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there still definitely is a hell of a lot of improvement for the Broncos. I think they've got a while to go.
That's a fair play as Tyler West up the middle. He's had a good performance today. Pushing forward, and that's a well-deserved try for Tyler Weston. A good performance from him. If any Bronco deserves a try who hasn't already scored one, I think it's Tyler Weston.
Yeah, I'll back you up there. I think Weston's had a pretty good game in a team that's lost pretty convincingly. and tightening up the lead, or shrinking the lead rather, of the Raiders. Good work, Tyler Weston.
Yeah, I think, well, he's going to get that try. You'd expect, surely Liver Raymond can get this one next to the post to make it 28-14. In the end, the Raiders have too much class. But the Broncos will grab a try on the buzzer just to seal the deal. Go on to next week with a little bit of something. As Levi Raymond converts it there. That's a good last game there good first game there from the Raiders. The Broncos will be disappointed with their start. They're lucky there's 6 other weeks for them to get better though.
Yeah, well, they showed some promises, the Broncos, and I think that with enough work on it, I think they can get more up there. They are versing a Premiership heavyweight, so got to give it with a grain of salt. But I think they were just a little bit disjointed tonight, the Broncos, and the Raiders were able to get the job done.
When you look at this, I felt like in the first half the Raiders were making many more errors, but as the game went on, I don't remember a single error from the Raiders in the first half, while the Broncos ended up making double the amount of errors the Raiders made. 10 errors from the Broncos and 5 errors from the Raiders. That's insane,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, that is kind of insane. I think if we didn't have a look at it at halftime, but I think if we did, I think it would be more like 5-0. I feel like there might have been, or 5-2, or something like that. I feel like there weren't that many errors from the Broncos. They just kind of fell apart in that second half.
And even missed tackles. It felt like the Broncos were missing way more tackles, but the Raiders missed more. They tightened line breaks. Raiders made more tackles. The only thing that is real difference that shows why the Raiders won was their completion rate.
Yeah. Raiders completed pretty well.
So we have a look at here at some of those players' stats here. We have Bo Sadler running for 204 meters. Luka Moskowitz running for 163 meters. Tackle count 20 from Bo Sadler, 90 from Coda Diab, and for the Raiders, Eli Barnes, 65 minutes played and 242 run meters. 3 tackle breaks and 5 line breaks.
Yeah, well, you also got to consider he played lock for what, 25 of those minutes?
It would have been
25 of those
It would
minutes.
have been 40 take away 65, so it would have been 25.
Yeah, so that's for those kind of stats. For someone who played 25 minutes at lock as well, is kind of crazy.
Look at this count. 6 missed tackles by John Boymar, but he'll be probably a little bit disappointed with that, but I still think in terms of attack he did pretty well. 4 by the captain Caval and 4 by Jack O'Neill. They'll be disappointed about that, but overall the Raiders were definitely on top in this game. Tries just 1 try by Tim J, 1 by Sione Matul. So that's because most of the tries came back to the run of play against the run of play, I guess. 2 tries by Eli Barnes, 1 by Corey Bell, and 1 by Rangi Fehu. While the Broncos, you had 1 try by Sam Herbert, Joey Kelly, and Tyler Weston. I think that's going to be all from us. Thank you, Jack Carl, for joining me. And
Pleasure.
And we will be seeing you guys later.